In this video, I'm going to show you some strategies for developing the one-point perspective that's part of this assignment. So I've got the layout set up where the view that I'm going to treat as my composition is in the upper right. I've got the top view, the front view, and the right view. And I have the model kind of big enough that I can see the whole thing. So what I'll be doing is making changes to improve the composition. All projects are going to be a little different. Things that you feel about yours that need improvement are going to be different than mine or some of your classmates. But the whole goal of this is to generate a single one-point perspective composition that has nice balance and illustrates the kind of the major elements of the Rhino project: the column, the stair, the mural, and the bench. So the reason that I have the layout set up like this is so I can make changes in the orthographic views. The top, the front, and the right are the orthographic ones, and they'll be immediately visible in the upper right-hand corner, which has the perspective. So for example, I may want to, well, when I look at this image, I don't like that part of the stair is cut off. So I want to move that closer into the image. So when I click on it, and then I can basically input values or just, kind of visually move it over. Let's say I did -4 feet. Now I can see it a little bit more clearly in the perspective view. And I can just go through all of the various components and make subtle changes to improve the composition, to illustrate maybe a little bit better what I want to show, what I think is important, that sort of stuff. Okay. Other changes that I might want to make, I feel like the column here is a little far back. I've got a lot of plane in the front. So what I'm going to do is move the column closer. So let's say here I do it similarly let's say -10 feet. All right, now it's a little bit closer. I feel like it's a little bit too close to the stair. And so I can, kind of move it this way and that way until I'm kind of happy with how it looks within the composition. Okay. Some other things that I'm a little bothered by. I don't like that part of this intersection back here is sort of obscured. So I'm gonna, play around a little bit with moving the planes. This one, for example, I'm going to shift it over so it is farther to the left. In this case, I think I'll just drag it, so that I can watch it as it goes instead of inputting one number at a time. Okay, so now I have a little bit more, there's a little bit of white space behind here, so I have a little bit more clear definition of the profile of the column. In the same respect, I feel like this corner back here is a little obscured, so I'm going to take, in this case, I can't move this plane over too far because it is the mural is being supported by it. But this may take something a little bit more extensive. I think what I'm going to do is actually make the plane a little bit larger. So I will do that from the right view. So I'm going to use the extrude surface command and select that surface and press enter and give it an extrusion distance. So I can sort of see it up there, maybe like 4 feet, possibly, because each one of these little grid squares is a foot. Let's see, 4 feet, enter, and there. So now I have a little bit more clarity in where that corner condition is. Another change, I think that the way I've positioned my bench, it's a little confusing about where it is and what its relationship is to the mural. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to move it into the view a little bit more. And again, I'm keeping my eyes on that perspective and I will keep kind of shifting it around until I'm happy with its location. We don't have to worry about how things are working in plan. We are purely looking at this from the standpoint of wanting to clarify the composition. Okay. Also, I think what I want to do is rotate it around. I'm going to try 180 degrees. So I see a little bit more of the flat surface there. Maybe shift it over a little bit so that it's kind of sitting in front of this line, and therefore it's kind of in space, a little clearer where it exists. And other changes that you can make, as you can see, I've already sort of established some colors based on the filament colors for the 3D printing, but you can change these colors a little bit. This black color, I think, is a little bit too dark, and so I can go and adjust that. And again, these colors are not exactly what the filament colors are going to be, but just to kind of give you some idea. And at this time, I'm going to change the color wheel to a different type so I can control it, but just make it a little bit more gray and say, okay. Okay, so anyway, the idea is to just kind of refine the composition in preparation for doing some rendering.